Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at when part 2 of the anniversary will be, and also what kind of units we can expect. Now, before I go into this video, there was a leak confirming one of the new LRs for part 2. Because of that, I'm not going to talk about that LR. I'm also not going to talk about any prospection towards that unit, as they've asked us not to from the Dokkan side, from their team, and I want to respect that. So I'm just going to talk about some of the other ideas for LRs and just avoid that entirely. Now, the anniversary started on the 28th of Jan. Last year, it took around 17 days for us to get the part 2 banners releasing. So from the 28th, that would bring us pretty much all the way down to around about the 13th, 14th of Feb, which would be next week, Thursday, Friday. With this being conjoined and with this being the first joint celebration, it could be moved up. However, I think it's more than likely we'll probably see announcements of information closer to the weekend or beginning of next week, and the units releasing at the end of next week. We will get a second batch of content literally tomorrow from this video, some new Super Easy A's, new anniversary stages, and we'll probably get some more content to kind of get through for the weekend, and then next week will be all about the build up to the banners. In terms of anticipating which units we can expect, obviously one thing that comes to mind is the successes category. This is the new category that we do not have a lead for right now. Because of this, it's very likely the next Dokkan Festival unit will be a successes lead. So we do have to keep that in mind. But firstly, let's talk about potential options. So the one that springs to mind is obviously considering the fact that Janemba and Gogeta are both going to get Super Easy A's tomorrow. So with that being said, a couple slots on our little map that they gave us fill up from those. Another important thing to consider is that it's more than likely that Perfect Cell, the tech one, will be the final Super Easy A. This leaves us with one free slot for Android Cell Saga, and also leaves us with a couple slots open for movies and super bosses. In terms of the most likely unit, I think a lot of people are hoping for a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, a reference to the Cell Saga. Gohan cannot be a successes lead, so if it is Gohan, it's likely he's the Carnival banner unit. It's just very unlikely for him to be a successes lead, as he's not currently on successes in any way, shape or form. Even Goku units are not on successes, so it's more related to units that take a direct line of succession, aka Demon King Piccolo to Piccolo, King Vegeta to Vegeta, King Cold to Frieza, etc. Also Zamasu taking over from the Supreme Kai. In terms of other possible units that could correlate to successes, as well as also being a unit that fulfills either the movie categories or the DBS categories, could be Orange Piccolo. Orange Piccolo, or Power Awakening Piccolo, is a decent shout due to the fact that he does match the theme of succession, whilst also obviously being a continued buff for either of the existing categories that currently exist, movie bosses, super, etc. However, the unit I think that is most likely to become the next unit is Golden Frieza. We don't have an extreme unit right now. We don't have an extreme spot really for an LR, giving us a Dokkan Festival Frieza who leads, for example, Terrifying Conquerors in succession with 30% or 50% for Wicked Bloodlines and Space Traveling Warriors or something along those lines, would give you a huge boost to a ton of extreme teams, and give you a huge boost to pretty much all the current existing extreme teams, because Frieza, especially if he's the DBS version of Frieza, which would be for Golden Frieza, could be on Tournament of Power, USS, Superheroes, Resurrected Warriors, Super Bosses. So it would be a big buff to a lot of categories, plus Terrifying Conquerors, Space Traveling Warriors, Successes, etc., etc. So very big buff that I think is good for a lot of teams. So I'm hoping they go with Golden Frieza. Golden Frieza, Gohan, I think, are my choices, my top 2 choices. Power Awakening Piccolo is also there. So yeah, let's see.